We'll make sure you measure it, and then the really important thing you do is there you go. Now zip tie it. So don't do what I'm doing. Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So we're getting tires mounted. We're getting them mounted on some Jeep wheels for the ZX2 and using the Jeep wheels that we have for the Mazda. So we're just juping all around. If you're looking to commute in a vehicle, I would not recommend this one in particular. The manual and then also non-AC option is probably not the best idea for commuting in LA traffic.
Just do 15 on the labor, so it'll be times 8.
8, yeah. The green caps.
Oh, nitrogen filled.
I think it's just green caps.
These ones are blue.
We said nitrogen filled, Jeff.
See you on the road. That's all.
A little bit intimidating.
It is. Yeah, the audience can't see, but there is a ton of equipment. I was gonna put a dollar amount on it. I thought that was like a teleprompter, multiple lights, and all we're doing is we're using the overhead lights on my phone on a camera stand because I can't be trusted with nice machinery. Alex is behind the camera too. It's a group effort to not be trusted. Our almost entire fleet doesn't have our AC working. And you know they say like the shoemaker has the worst shoes. I think that's definitely the case with our vehicles right now.
Right.
So my AC stopped working today.
So you press the
90
magic
degrees.
button that's supposed
No
to
more
light
magic.
up. No magic. And it's like, what now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, sell the car.
Okay, sell the car. God, you guys heard it first. Sell the car.
9 times out of 10 with an air conditioning problem, it's a leak.
Okay.
Refrigerant carries the oil in the air conditioning. So look for little oil leaks. They'll be around the hoses typically.
So they're like leaking where like the squishy part meets the hard part, or is it?
Right, where the joints are, it could be leaking there.
Okay.
Over time, you will lose refrigerant because of the squishy things.
The squishy things.
The squishy things. Have a look at your cooling system in general in the vehicle. Maybe flush it out. Make sure you're using some sort of antifreeze that's recommended by the manufacturer. And always, guys, whenever you replace a radiator or do anything with the radiator, change the radiator cap.
Okay.
I know it's
Interesting tip.
really silly, but generally if your radiator's failed, the cap would have had let some pressure off, and that cap, once it's let the pressure off, it's done.
Okay.
And if you're on the side of the road and you're going to put the water in,
Yeah.
make sure you're running the engine at the same time so you don't crack anything.
Yeah. So I think that the next steps for us is that we're gonna kind of we're gonna exit from here.
Yeah.
Just yank
If
it
you
off.
jerk it up and down, you're going to crack the radiator.
Yeah.
But if you twist it, you'll break the seal.
Okay.
And then you can pull it off easy, rather than
You
just...
broke the seal for me. It's perfect. We're back with Julien. We just pulled out the fan shroud, and we also drained the coolant from here. A really important tip that Julien pointed out is that some of these radiator hoses get stuck on the outlet, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
And if you go in there and you start yanking out and jiggling around, this is kind of weakened plastic because, once again, 20, 30 years old. You can twist the hose, and it'll break that seal. And from there, you can just kind of wiggle it off like that, and then you should have the hose off. Julien has carefully removed the old radiator, and I'd say probably in the most efficient fashion I've seen. That was really quick. This isn't your first time doing this?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Make sure you can, like when you pull them out, compare the radiators. Also check that, things like your drain plug is screwed all the way in, because it will be on all of them all the way out. This is a manual transmission, but it has automatic cooler in there. So what generally happens is that if you had an automatic transmission, there'd be lines that go into here. But since we don't have that, we're just going to ignore them, just not use them at all.
So we're gonna remove those, these clips put back on top and throw it back in the car, right?
Sounds good.
And did you just come from the office, or did we start the install again? Yeah, new radiators in. Thanks to Julian's expeditious efforts.
Ooh,
I'm not sure that's the right one, but we'll see. So what would you say after you do something like this? What are some important steps you want to take after you install a radiator?
So you just want to make sure that everything's torqued up correctly.
Yeah.
All the hoses are connected. All the external
Everything you touch,
shrouds.
right?
Yeah, anything you touch, basically. Give it a bit of a wiggle just to make sure nothing's
Not
moving.
too much of a wiggle, as we
Not
learned
too
earlier,
much.
right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then it's time to fill up. But just make sure that you put all the bolts in back exactly where they came from.
Yeah.
There's a thing called electrolysis, which is basically the movement of electricity. And if you don't ground these correctly, they will corrode.
Okay.
So just be really careful about that. So just make sure that any metal fitting that's going into a metal part of the body goes back in there correctly.
Every bolt, nut, everything you're removing. It's really important that you have a funnel, because I don't know why I don't have a funnel. I've been working on cars for a while, and I thought I was okay at it, and I don't have a funnel, so thanks, Ryan. Back in the engine bay, we have the new radiator in, and we noticed our coolant sensor wasn't working inside the car. So luckily, GPD offers coolant temperature sensor. So what does that do, and why is that really important to the vehicle?
So what it does is it converts the temperature basically into a voltage, which reads back onto your dashboard. In late model vehicles, it actually is even more important because it runs the coolant temperature fans. It sits inside the block, and we're just about to take that out. It's going to be in there tight because it gets hot, cold non-stop. There's going to be a bit of spillage from the...
I'll trade you.
All right, just making sure there wasn't a washer on there, because sometimes they have washers on them. So always when you're putting stuff like anything in your engine bay or anything like that, put it in hand first, just to get it started, so you're not cross-threading anything, because the last thing you want to do is create a problem like that. We do it up to specific torque specifications.
About one.
We're
back in.
It's about one ugga dugga. That's how easy it is.
Done deal. Hi, Chippy.
Why isn't you wearing a manly sweater? You're wearing a pink sweater. He's a boy.
You got over there.
I have two choices. Fabric for the headliner, which I assume is this one.
So that one would look
Dark.
good.
Or I have this one.
You gotta go with
So
that one.
if you say the word, ew. Is that a piece of rice? What is that? Ideal situation is this whole head part comes out, and I can spray it on away from the car, cut everything I need to cut. It's working!
It's coming out.
It looks like it's working.
Oh, okay.
And then I can put it back in and just screw things in. It'll be perfect.
Cooling is very important on this vehicle, so that's why we're making sure we're putting on a hood scoop that does absolutely nothing at all. Is that the right hole? Is there's like a divot there? Yeah, airflow is super important in a motor. And there's actually a very functional hood scoop here that the previous owners have installed for us ahead of time. Make sure we're capping that off, making sure that air can go nowhere. It stays in the hood. I was trying to position the middle.
Well, we're kind of thinking
yeah, like that.
you want to stop that airflow, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So eventually we want to do rivets and do it the right way and all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, what we're going to do, actually...
What kind of material is this? Would you call it a PVC,
Yeah,
plastic?
ABS or something like that. We'll make sure you measure it, and then the really important thing you can do is there you go.
And that's it.
That's it. Now we zip tie it.
Zip ties, okay.
This is the absolutely 100% OEM way to install a hood scoop. And make sure that you're just drilling through without knowing what's on the other side. I could have just drilled into the cylinder head and we would never know. We'll find out.
And then these are louvers. Would you call these hood louvers, or?
Yeah, they actually do cut out, and there are louvers.
These
in there.
functional?
They're functional, and they're glued in there with some unknown substance. What we did is we just zip tied that zip tie to the hood, so it's acting almost like a rivet.
So that's a gambler rivet.
It's a gambler rivet. Yeah. There you go.
So you can secure almost anything with that.
Yeah. How are you feeling about this? We got a little secret zip tie that is an extra zip tie. Hey, hey, hey! And there's also a drill bit stuck in the hood somewhere.